I'm going to go over the 1.2 quick check. So the first one here is pretty easy. We're just trying to match the quantity to its units. So K here, we know that that is Kelvin. Kelvin is a temperature. Okay, so this would be answer C. S, we know that that means seconds, and we all know seconds means time. So that's letter D. km, okay, not so much the K, but the M, okay, we know that's meters, kilometers, so we know that that's a length. So that's going to be answer A. And milliliters, again, the liters lets us know that that's a volume. Okay, so that's going to be answer E. And the last one here, CGs, okay, centigrams, but mostly the grams give us an indication that that's a mass. So that's answer B. Okay, next thing here for temperatures. Okay, temperatures, we learned in class here that there are a couple scales, and what we really use, we use Celsius for quite a few just everyday measurements, but when we really do calculations, we want to be able to work in Kelvin temperatures. So we got to go back and forth in Celsius and Kelvin. Okay, Celsius and Kelvin are the same size degrees. They just have different starting points. So 0 Kelvin starts way down here where there is no motion at all. Okay, 0 starts up here, that's just the freezing point of water. And we can see the difference here, that's 273 difference, that's 273 difference. So if you want to go from Celsius to Kelvin, so if I want to go from 0 to the 273, I had to add 273. So Celsius to Kelvin, we should just know that. So temperature Celsius, you add 273 to that, and you will get the temperature in Kelvin. In the same way, if I have Kelvin, then I have to subtract 273 to get my temperature in Celsius. So I have 35 degrees Celsius. Kelvin is always going to be a larger number because K is higher in the alphabet than C. So I can say 35 degrees Celsius plus 273, and that's going to give me 308 Kelvin. Now notice one little thing is that when you're talking about Celsius, it has a degree sign, Kelvin does not. Okay, the dimensional analysis. Okay, so it says 451 milliliters is the same as how many liters. First step, find the number you're going to start with. Be sure to include the unit because that's really going to be a big clue. Now we're going to do a conversion factor. We have to have milliliters. What do we know about milliliters? Because of metric system, we know we can go from milliliters to liters, and we're trying to get to liters, so that means we're done. This is the setup. So all I have to do is put in numbers. For every liter, there is 1,000 milliliters. So when I multiply 450 times 1, these cancel out, divided by 1,000, then I get 0.451 liters. And that's my answer. Okay, next one, how many minutes is there in winter break? Okay, in winter break, we start with 16 days. It's the only number in our problem, so it's pretty easy. Put D for days. So I want to get to minutes. So what do I know about days? I know that there are 24 hours in a day. Now I've got days gone. I had to put hours down here because I want them to cancel. What do I know about hours? I know in every hour there's 60 minutes. So now hours are gone. So since I have minutes on my top there, and that's what I'm looking for, then I know that my setup is finished. So my answer is 16 times 24 times 60 divided by 1 divided by 1. This comes out to be 23,040 minutes. Now this is a little bit ambiguous as far as how many significant figures. So, but if we decided that that was only 2 significant figures, just for practice, we'll round this off to 2. And I would say the answer is 23. Those are my 2 significant figures. Then I'd fill in some zeros here just to hold the place. But I really don't think 16 really means only 16 plus or minus 1. So I don't really like this answer. But that's good practice. Next one, if we wanted to convert 25 centimeters squared into inches squared. Okay, well this is centimeters and this is centimeters squared, which means we're going to use this conversion factor twice. And here we go. So we have 25 centimeters squared. So that's an area. Now I know centimeters, so I need centimeters down here, and I know that centimeters and inches go together. So 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And because that will cancel out one of my centimeters, but I've got centimeters squared, that means I'm going to use the exact same conversion factor twice. So when I see I have something squared, I'll just use my conversion factor twice. So centimeters squared cancels out centimeters and centimeters. So now my unit is going to be inches times inches, which is inches squared, which is what I was trying to get to. So now I have to do 25 times 1 divided by 2.54 and 2.54. On my calculator, I get 3.875. And the number keeps going, 0077500. Now for practice, let's go ahead and round that off to 2 significant digits. So I'm going to keep my 3 and my 8, okay, but because that 8 has a 7 next to it, that's going to round up my 8 to 9. So if I round it off to 2 significant digits, I would call that 3.9 square inches. Now, the next one here is 2.5 meters per second is how many kilometers per hour. So what happens now is I'm going to have 2.5 as my initial value, but I have 2 units. I have meters and I have seconds. Now I say meters per second, I can put the seconds on the bottom. And what I have to do is do 2 simultaneous problems. I'm going to change my meters into kilometers, and I've got to change my seconds into hours. And either one of those is easy. We're just going to do them both. So let's say meters. So I can put meters on the bottom here so that those two cancel. What do I know about meters? Do I know meters and kilometers? Yes. Okay, by the metric system, I know that for every 1 kilometer, there's 1,000 meters. So that part is already finished. So now I have to do my seconds into hours. So this time, because seconds is on the bottom, I got to put seconds on the top, so they will cancel. What do I know about seconds? I can change seconds into minutes. And I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. And if I needed kilometers per minute, I'd be done, but I don't. I need kilometers per hour. So I need minutes up on top. And can I go from minutes to hours? Yes. I know that for every 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So minutes drop out. So the only units I have left are kilometers and hours, which is what I want, kilometers per hour. So my setup is done. 2.5 times 1 times 60 times 60 divided by 1,000. Now that equals 9. Okay, now that's only one significant figure. So if I'm going to say let's practice and put it in 2 significant figures, we'd call that 9.0. And we have to put in our units, kilometers per hour. Now on each of these problems, be sure when you go back, especially this one, and try that on your calculator. Make sure that when you're done, you actually end up with that value on your calculator. And that's how we do quick check number 2.